Hi, this is Ross Morrow with the Wistful Educational Committee, here with another maintenance tip. The tip for today is about hemping, and hemping can be an extremely important part of your pipe maintenance. You notice on this old set, this section of hemp on the tenor is spinning. Now that can make tuning more difficult, or if your pipes aren't properly hemped, they could be losing a bit of air and be playing really inefficiently. So it's just overall really important to have a nice hemp job on your bagpipes. So I just wanted to come with a couple of tips for you today. The first one is that when you're starting your hemp on a certain joint, you notice that pipes will have these little grooves. Now the intuitive thing to do is to just keep the hemp right in those grooves and sort of try to keep it every one going as you work your way down. However, I found that this just creates a nice groove spot for the hemp to sit in, and that actually makes the spinning problem a little bit worse. So what I like to do is, using as much force as I can without breaking the hemp, I like to go in patterns that are just slightly angled. And then I come back the other way, keeping the pressure as tight as I can, especially here at the start. Now going this way really helps to keep the hemp in place, keep it from spinning. And then as you start to fill up the space for the hemp, you start to get a first layer on, then you can sort of go down one way and back the other and fill in those rest of the grooves. And again, keeping it as tight as you can at first. Now, an important part of hemping is once you get close to the end on this joint, it's almost tight, but it needs a little bit more. When I start to get feeling the joint a little bit tight, then I like to do what I call compressions. In other words, I do a layer of hemp, back and down, and then I put the joint in. And what that does is it squishes down that layer of hemp, and it compresses the whole joint. Then I do another one, and I keep doing this several times, at least a half a dozen on a joint. Just going down. And I really make sure that hemp gets compressed down. This helps you get a better seal that's going to last longer. If I don't do this compression method, then in a couple of weeks that joint is going to likely be loose, because as you've played it and it's sat in there, the compression has happened. So you're just doing that step in advance and keeping that joint more stable. Another trick for hemping is that when you're hemping the tuning slides, once you get those going and you start to make your compressions on the tuning slide, when you're compressing that hemp down, you want to keep that spinning in one direction. And then when you pull it back out from the compression, you go in the opposite direction. Down and back. And you do all of your compressions that same way. And what happens is that's going to create a little bit of a memory in the hemp that allows you to use that joint as if it's sort of threaded, so that I can go, and while I'm tuning my drone, all I have to do is twist instead of trying to lift or push down, and then that's going to move either up or down depending on the way I'm spinning. Very helpful little tip for efficient tuning slides there. And that's it for this tip.